have a video here that I would like to react to. The title of this video is I owned 40 plus properties and I was still broke. Wow. Okay, let's dive right in the video. Let's go.
At what point are we really going to have the real conversation about buying real estate and whether you can really get rich buying single families, duplexes, quads? I'm talking about really living off of your cash flow, not having other businesses and other active income streams. No, literally living off of the passive income, the dream that we've been sold. And I'm speaking.
I am so glad he's making this content because not only I want to open my eyes up, but I'm also sure that a lot of people also want their eyes to be open, because if you ask me, I think a lot of people are talking about it just to sound cool. And look, I'm not saying that there aren't people who are killing it out there. There are. But most people who talk about real estate, finances, Bitcoin, crypto and shit like that, they don't know much about it, man. But it sounds cool to be like, I'm in real estate. Or, drop shipping and stuff like that. It is so refreshing to see a video like this because I want to know too. How did you own 40 plus properties and was still broke? Because on YouTube, anywhere on these social media platforms, when I usually see somebody who owns this many properties, they don't usually sound like this. So I really want to know also. And he mentioned that it was a dream that was sold. Is it really? Or did you do something wrong? I don't know. And I'm glad this is not the end of the video yet. But let's really find out because, damn. First of all, how did you manage to even own 40 plus properties and you're still broke? My ignorant eyes can't even fathom this shit, because it's like, how is this possible? Because if somebody were to tell me I own 40 plus properties, if they don't say anything after that, in my mind it's going to be like, you're rich as fuck. That's because I don't know anything about real estate. But let's hear from somebody who actually was involved.
My real experience and my humble opinion, because maybe I did something wrong. Okay. Somebody can let me know in the comments whether I did something wrong. Okay. But I personally had 40 plus properties and was still broke. Like, I was cash poor, equity rich. I had net worth and all this stuff on paper, but I wasn't able to live off of my cash flow if I didn't have other active income streams.
Wow.
At the end of the year, when I look at my P&L, I'm negative or breaking even. Yes, I made cash flow month by month, but by month 7 or 8, when there's a snowstorm and the pipes freeze and they burst, and I got to replace the piping and I got to replace the ceiling tiles and the flooring. Let's not talk.
And this is what one portion of real estate that people don't really think about. Me, for instance, I try to get involved because, I had a little bit of money and stuff like that. But the people I went to get advice, they're really, honestly, when you really listen to them, they don't sound any better. This is me, right? If I truly have an understanding of something and I can now break it down to somebody like they were a 3-year-old, I have no business doing it, to be honest with you. When you go to these people for advice, they're going to pull out real estate jargon, talking about fucking equities that are doing backflips and shit like that. I'm like, yo, nigga, do you know I'm here to learn? I'm not learning anything. You talking about words that I don't even understand. Leverage this, equity this, whatever this. It's just pulling word out of your ass. It's like most people, they will literally sit there and talk about things that just don't make sense. Like, it's like you're just wasting your time, trying to learn from them. And even online, you'll see them talk too. They don't sound any better, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of people are rich on paper. But when we're talking about, and he's right, because his question is really legitimate though. At what point can you really actually actively be living off of the cash flow from the investments, from real estate? Because one thing I know for a fact in America is if you do not pay off that property, you don't own it yet. I don't care how anybody trying to paint it to be. This is my opinion and I will never change it. And this is not only about real estate. Everything. I'm talking about cell phones, cars, bike. If you have a loan on that motherfucker, if it's not paid off, you don't own it yet. So yes, I understand being rich on paper, but again, it comes with a certain degree of liability. And this is a lot of, and he started talking about things that need to be fixed, you know, in the property and things like that. It doesn't even take much to basically put this in the equation if you live in an apartment, because you can see when something goes wrong in your apartment, all you do, the first thing you do is call the landlord. Now, on the back end, he is a landlord. Think about you being in that position, being that landlord to 40 plus properties. How many calls are you getting per day or per week or per month regarding something going wrong in your property, and how much are you really using to fix that? Now, yeah, this is something that people don't talk about. People might make it seem like real estate is just like this smooth thing, or just go get this type of mortgage, buy this and buy that. Look, I'm not saying that it's not gonna work, but at what point can you really rely on it and be like, okay, every month I just make, let's say, 50K, because 40 plus properties, 50K a month, like I'm making 50K a month, and that's just cash flow. I ain't gotta pay no mortgage off of it, nothing. I think maybe you're just competing with time, because after all, if you finish paying everything off, oh my God, that's a lot of money. But that's a long-term game though. But usually when people talk about it, they make it seem like it's just this sweet thing, you know, that's just beneficial in the short term and stuff like that. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm making a lot of mistakes. Let's talk about this in the comments, man. Educate me. I don't know.
But when the roof is leaking, we gotta keep spending money to patch things up and make things work, right, until we finally gotta put a new roof on. Yeah. Or when the tenant moves out and now you have to replace the kitchen, the bathroom, new floors because they destroyed your unit. You spend $10,000, $15,000 to turn over a unit, wow, and then you rent out that unit for $2,000 a month. How long does it take you to get your money back? I'm talking about pure cash flow. Wow. Let's not talk about the equity, the net worth, because you only get that when you sell it. And if you refi, it's really just debt that you are borrowed against, and then your mortgage goes up. Mm-hmm. So the dream that we've been sold about getting rich and living a life off of passive income in real estate, I personally didn't live it. I was sold that.
I'm glad he's saying this. Most people online are just selling dreams, I'm not gonna lie, because at the end of the day, these are businessmen. You know that, right? So when somebody tells you they're a businessman and their language sound like something that's about, you know, selling something or whatnot, that's their business. That is their business. Because usually when you go to somebody who truly is an expert in what they do, if you go to them for advice, 10 times out of 10 times, they're not going to start talking about the sweet stuff yet. Nah. That's the easy part. They will gauge you to see if you really are built for it. Let's say, for instance, if you go talk to a doctor or a nurse, right? They're not going to start talking about, oh, how nursing salary is sweet and stuff like that. Nah. They're going to be talking about, what do you know about working 12-hour shift, man, without a break? And see if you're ready for that. Like, what do you know about everybody else being encouraged to stay home but you, because you work in healthcare and you got to go take care of sick people, because those sick people rely heavily on your care. Are you ready for something like this? Are you ready for shortage and stuff like that? Are you ready to come at work and 5 people called out and it's only you and 2 other people and you have to work with a whole bunch of patients? Like, they're going to start with the nasty stuff first. Like, if you go to get advice from somebody and they start talking about this sweet stuff and stuff like that, my personal experience, run away from that person. The people that are truly an expert in something, especially in business, if you go to ask them for advice, they'll gauge you first. They're going to be talking about things like, what do you know about working for free? Meaning, what do you know about working for like 5-6 years now, making money before you start making money? The language is going to sound something, it's going to sound like this, because they know what it takes, and it's not just all sweet. The people that start talking sweet, run away from that. If they start talking about equities that are making backflips, fucking leverage this, get a PWYZ loan, and that is transferred to a fucking credit card, and the credit card name is something that you can't even pronounce, and on the back end they encourage you to make sure you get the equity that is able to make a backflip. My nigga, run. Them usually be the people online that are selling courses and stuff like that. Bro, they know a lot of shit. Yo. Yo, there's a difference when you talk to somebody, right, who's just there thinking that he know, and versus somebody who actually knows. The way they communicate the information is totally different. I promise you. Even in school, we see it. The teachers that are able to deliver the information the right way, and the ones that struggle to deliver it, because at the end of the day, anybody can teach, but I promise you, not everybody can actually teach the right way. There's a striking difference. There's like an elemental way that you can peep. You could see that, oh my God, this dude actually knows his shit. He knows it. And I like people who are actually gauging me. And it's very reassuring because they don't talk about the sweet stuff. Like, why are you going to talk to me about the sweet stuff when I'm about to start something that's really demanding, right? Something that is a business, and you know that a business, anybody who's a businessman knows a lot of these people, they'll be in the negative for a long time. Oh yeah, they be underwater for a long time before their head actually come above water a little bit. What do you know about that? So when it's all sweet and all that, run away.
Yeah, and I learned the hard way. Yeah. Fortunately, I was able to bounce back, sell my assets, and go buy businesses that cash flow. Right, I got into the self-storage business because it has the best of both worlds, where you get the real estate appreciation, the tax advantages, depreciation, but you get cash flow from a business that you actually drive revenue from every single day with different sales strategies and implementation. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it differently. That's why I'm having this conversation for us to really just talk about it. It's not, oh, I'm right, you wrong. I'm speaking from my true experience and my humble opinion. So let me know in the comments, family. When can we have this real conversation about whether you could really get rich off of buying just real estate alone, or maybe I did some wrong?
I would love to know also. Does it have to do with, property prices just being through the roof? Because we're not going to act like these houses, the prices are just the same as they used to be 20 years ago. So obviously, if you were involved in real estate 20 years ago versus now, the struggle is going to be different. I don't know. I'm also speaking from a place of ignorance. So please educate all of us, because it is sweet. This is one of the businesses that people actually encourage people to go in, real estate, because of the appreciation and stuff like that. But I think the knowledge that's being conveyed is very limited. Because if it's all about everything I'm hearing, I don't think it is sufficient knowledge for me to even dip my toe in it. I'm not gonna lie. So I would love to also know. Let's talk about it in the comment, man. Is there any expert out there? Obviously, I don't want to hear about any equity that's making backflips. Yo, they love talking about equity, man. They love talking about some type of loans and stuff. I'm like, yo, this is too confusing. It is too confusing, and I understand it's real estate and it has a language, but damn. Yo, when you see these people on social media platforms be talking about, let me put you out on game. I'm like, okay, all right. You gotta go to the bank, but make sure you go at 2 p.m. And I'm like, okay. Make sure you get the QWXYZ loan, because that's the type of loan that you can put on a credit card. And guess what? If you don't pay it, I'm like, okay. But this is a very important step. Most important step of it all. Make sure that you get the equity that is able to make a backflip. I'm like, okay. Yo, these people, man. A lot of people just think they know, but they don't know. Anyways, let's talk about this in the comments. Good video, by the way, because I cannot even conceive the idea of owning 40 plus properties and still be broke, because my ignorant ass can't even understand that shit. First of all, how did you manage to own 40 plus properties and you're still broke? Peace out. I'll see you guys in the next one.